Hey guys, what is up and welcome to the Theatre Lounge. Welcome back to everyone who's been here before, and a massive welcome to everyone who's here for the first time. Here at the Theatre Lounge, I talk about everything to do with theatre because I love this industry so much, but I also give my top tips when it comes to auditions, colleges, and everything else that comes with it. I upload videos twice a week, every Tuesday and every Friday, so if you haven't yet, make sure that you hit that subscribe button over here so you keep updated with all of my theatre content. Right, so a few weeks ago I uploaded a video about underrated musicals and you guys seem to have loved that so much, so I said why not create another one and mention some other musicals that I think deserve more love. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking about 10 more musicals that I think are underrated, that I think deserve more love, so without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so the first musical I'm going to be talking about today is The Spitfire Grill. So this musical is based on the movie with the same title, The Spitfire Grill, and follows the story of how Percy, this woman, is released from prison and has moved to a rural area in Wisconsin and her life there and what goes on after that. I won't be giving away too much about it because I really like this musical and I think that you should all go and listen to it and follow the story. Or if you've seen the movie, you know the story, but now there's an onstage musical about it, and believe me, you do not want to miss this one. Although I'm saying it's an underrated musical, this musical has won several awards, including the Richard Rodgers Production Award when it first originated in 2001. Yes, it premiered off-Broadway in 2001 and then had several other productions, and then it premiered in the UK in 2015 at the Union Theatre, where yet again it also won another award for Best New Production of a Musical at the Broadway World UK Awards. So me personally, I had never seen the movie The Spitfire Grill. I actually had never heard of it either. So I listened to the musical soundtrack for the first time and I was able to follow the story. Now for me that is very important to follow the story through a musical because I feel like that's what we do as performers, we tell a story. So for me to be able to follow the story and kind of get to know it was really good. It's a very meaningful story, the music is brilliant, the lyrics are great. And yeah, I think everyone should go ahead and listen to this. I will link it down below as well, and I will also put it in my underrated musicals playlist, which I've uploaded in my other video, but I will carry it on and add some songs from these musicals. Right, let's move on to my second musical of the day, and that is A New Brain. A New Brain is written by William Finn, and it was originated in 1998. The year I was born. Now, most of William Finn's musicals are known to be semi-autobiographical. Honestly, this is like my fifth take because I couldn't say that word. And this one, as far as we know, is probably the same. A New Brain follows the story of Gordon, who is a musician, but then he falls ill, he's got health problems, and he starts stressing out that he will not be able to finish his music by the time that he dies. He's got a lot of ideas in his head, he's got a lot of thoughts that he wants to write into music, and because of his health problems, he's not able to do so, and that's why he stresses. Turns out at the end that he's released from hospital and all his creative fluids are back into his brain and all great, and he'll write a lot of music and he finds his love again. It also follows the story of him and his boyfriend during the song I'd Rather Be Sailing, which personally I love so much. I think it's a great song. Also, all men watching this video and wanting to find some new audition songs, put that like with your list because it's a great song. I don't hear it as often, and yeah, I think it's a good audition song. This musical actually premiered in the UK at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2005, and I think it's got quite a lot of recognition back then, but now it's kind of died down, and I think it should be like revived anytime soon. Hopefully we'll get a revived edition of A New Brain because it's a great musical, a great story, it's got a lot of fundamental themes and it helps you like restore hope in humanity, and I think for that alone this musical should be more known and deserve more love. So for my next musical I'm going to be talking about a musical that I think everyone should know, but especially in these moments with what's going on in the world right now. I'm pretty sure that everyone is aware of what's going on with the world with the Black Lives Matter movement, and I am fully part of that. I agree with it, and I want to share all my knowledge that I have. But I know that some of you are here because you love musical theatre, and yeah, I think both things can join together because there's so many black lives that we can celebrate in this industry. And if you're not following me on my Instagram, make sure that you're following me and go onto my profile and get on the highlight, and I've got a highlight all about Black Lives Matter and what we can do to help, and also celebrating some black people within our industry. But yeah, this musical is called The Scottsboro Boys. This musical is written by the amazing pairing of Candor and Ebb, who wrote musicals such as Chicago and Cabaret, so everyone's pretty familiar with their work. But yeah, I don't think this musical gets the love it deserves. It opened off-Broadway in 2010, and then in the same year it had a 2-month run on Broadway. It was also nominated for 12 Tony Awards, but unfortunately it won none of them. It follows the real-life events of the Scottsboro Boys, who are 9 black men who were falsely accused of raping 2 white women. It's a very sad story, and I will link some links about the story down below so we can read about it, especially in these times, to educate ourselves a bit more. And yeah, the musical is just brilliant. Yeah, it flows brilliantly when you're listening to it. You get the story, you get the gist of what's happening, and yeah, I personally love it. And in the UK, this musical opened in 2013 off West End, and it had a sellout run, but then obviously it went onto the West End in 2014. I really hope this musical comes back to the UK anytime soon, because I will definitely be there. I can't wait to watch it. I've never seen it live, and I really want to. Now, for my next musical, I think it might be popular with certain people. If you're a fan of this show, you are a massive fan of it, like it's like a fan favourite. And this musical is Carrie. Carrie is based on the 1974 novel by Stephen King of the same name, Carrie. So basically, Carrie is about this girl called Carrie. I think you would have guessed that. Basically, yeah, she's got superpowers, and she's living with her mum, who is very religious. And like the story that goes on between them two, yeah, that's what it's about. So this musical has had quite the history of becoming the musical it is today. So it first opened in England in 1988, and it was quite a hit back then. And then it took to Broadway that same year in 1988, and it's known to be one of Broadway's biggest flops. So yeah, after a lot of readings and reproductions and reworkings of it and adding songs to the show and everything like that, this show actually hit off Broadway again in 2012 and then hit off West End in 2015. There's quite some great characters actually with different characteristics. So if you're looking for audition songs, again, this is a great musical to look at because you can find probably quite a lot in this. And yeah, I think it's a great musical. I think the revised version of it is really good. It's like a cult favourite as well, kind of like, you know, like Heathers, like they've got their fans and they just absolutely love Heathers. It's kind of the same thing with Carrie. People love Carrie and they're obsessed with Carrie. I mean, they love other musicals again, but yeah, like Carrie's their go-to. And also, it shows a story within the history of the musical that you should never give up. Someone had an idea that this musical could work. It started working out, it then became a massive flop on Broadway, and after that, after a good few years, it's become another hit, and it's now a loved musical. Right, so for my 5th musical today, I'm going to be talking about The Mad Ones. Now, this musical drives me mad because I knew it a few years ago as the Unauthorized Autobiography of Samantha Brown, and then I kind of didn't hear anything about it for a couple of years, and now it's become The Mad Ones. It is the same musical, they've just changed its title for some reason. So this musical follows the story of how Samantha is trying to get on with life and like carry on living normally after her best friend died. Kelly, who was Samantha's best friend, was kind of Samantha's courageous side. She would kind of push her forward to do things that Samantha wouldn't do without her. And after losing her best friend, Samantha is torn of what to choose, what to do with life. Does she like carry on with her life and moves away with her boyfriend, or does she live the life her mum wants her to live? So this musical, The Unauthorized Autobiography of Samantha Brown, was written in 2009 to be performed in a university. But kind of since then, they've worked more on it and put more effort into it and changed it to a bigger scale production, and then became The Mad Ones in 2017, so only 3 years ago. And I was wondering where the show had gone, but it was always in the works, and it's become the musical it is today. Right, we're halfway through the list, and we're going to carry on, and my next musical is called Wonderland. Now, this musical, written by Frank Wildhorn, is based on 2 novels, which are Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. Now, I personally do not understand how this musical is not as popular as I think it should be. Basically because these novels are so well known around the world, everyone knows about them, everyone knows the story of Alice and the whole Wonderland story, so I thought that people would know about the musical in a way. But I also understand how these stories are so loved that there's certain expectations about them when they're becoming a musical, and personally I feel like this musical has hit those expectations for me. It had a lot of readings, a lot of tryouts, and a lot of work on it, but then it officially hit Broadway in 2011. And after hitting Broadway, after all that work, it only lasted for a month. It also starred one of my favourite people who's come out of the X Factor, from X Factor US actually, Carly Rose Sonnenclair, who I think her voice is incredible. She was also one of like them little prodigies. She was 13 years old when she was on the X Factor and her voice was phenomenal. But yeah, she was also in the original cast. This musical has had many productions, smaller productions and bigger scale productions, but it hit the UK first time in 2017 with a UK tour. Now for my next musical, I actually did a production of it when I was in college and I loved it so much. And this is I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. This is a musical by Joe DiPietro, who I mentioned in my other underrated musicals, who wrote Memphis. This musical is the second longest running off-Broadway show. It had over 5,000 performances, and not just that, it went on to be a worldwide success. I don't understand how not many people know about it when this musical has actually been translated into 17 languages. I think that's quite impressive, and been performed basically everywhere in the world, from Rio de Janeiro to Prague to Munich to London to obviously off-Broadway. I personally think this show is pretty amazing. It's not your everyday type musical. It's first of all comedic, which is really good because sometimes you need to laugh, and second of all, it's not a musical like any other. Basically, it's a musical review with kind of little scenes and snippets that make a story. The story follows a love journey, so basically it begins when the love is starting and then how it progresses during the years. But it's not just about one couple, it's different couples doing different scenes to progress us during the years. But when you hear about it that way, you think there's a lot of characters in it, which there is, but it's quite a small cast because they double cast and triple and everything, and they do a lot of different characters within the show. I absolutely love this show. I think everyone should listen to it. It's quite a laugh, it's quite light-hearted, but it has a powerful message at the same time. Now for my next musical, I'm going to be talking about a musical by my personal favourite musical composer, who is Jason Robert Brown, and this musical is Parade. I absolutely love all of Jason Robert Brown's work. I think he's an incredible composer and a lyricist, and everything he does is insane. All of his musicals I love so much. I love listening to them, I love watching them, I love singing them. I don't know what it is. His writing is incredible. But let's talk about Parade. So, Parade originated in 1998 as well, and in its first run it won 2 Tony Awards, which were the Best Book and Best Original Score. This musical also focuses on a real-life story that happened in 1913, and it focuses on how this Jewish man called Leo Frank was accused of raping and murdering a 13-year-old girl called Mary Fagan. I love this show because the lyrics say so much, like the story is so put into your face there and then, but also the music develops in a way that kind of tells the story itself. So if you take the lyrics away and you know the gist of the story, you know what's happening with just the music. As I said, I love singing everything Jason Robert Brown, but this musical has such strong values, I believe, that again makes us all stick together. And why are we judging other people because of their race, because of their beliefs and everything like that? So for me personally, that is why I love this musical so much. But yeah, as I said, this musical has been on Broadway in 1998 where it originated, but then it also hit London in 2007 for a 2-month run at the Donmar Warehouse. Right, let's carry on, because if I get going about Jason Robert Brown, I will never stop. So for my next musical, it is Floyd Collins by Adam Gettle. This musical opened off-Broadway in 1996 and it only ran for about 25 performances. It follows the story of how this man, Floyd Collins, is a cave explorer, and he was doing his job, he was exploring caves, and he fell through a tight passageway. After lots of help from his family and the authorities in the country, it was proved to be very difficult to help him and get him out. There's beautiful scenes where you see his family singing to him, and there's a scene where his brother actually stays overnight there with him to keep him company. It is such a heartfelt performance. But, spoiler alert, after 17 days being stuck in this cave, they managed to find a shaft to save him and get him out, but they realised that Floyd Collins had died 3 days prior to that. Again, I think this musical is brilliant for its themes. It brings love and hope and family, which I think are beautiful themes. And yeah, I think it just lifts it off the page. This musical took to London in 1999 and then it had a revival of it in 2012, which it also won Best Musical Production at the Offies, which are the Off West End Awards. As I said, the music is brilliant, the story comes through the songs and everything, but there's one song that I love so much, and that is the final song, How Glory Goes. How Glory Goes is such a well-known song, I think, but I don't think it's known for the musical. It's on several other albums, kind of like, such as albums for Audra McDonald and Kerry O'Hara, that people know about the song, but I don't think they know where it comes from originally. But yeah, I love this show so much. I think it's a great show, and after watching this video, you should go ahead and listen to it. And now for my last musical that I'm going to mention in my underrated musicals today, it is Tuck Everlasting. This musical opened in Georgia in 2015 and then took to Broadway in 2016. Written by Chris Miller and Nathan Tyson, this musical is based on the novel with the same title, Tuck Everlasting. And it talks about this family, the Tuck family, who basically are immortal. Spoiler alert if you didn't know. But yeah, and then one of the sons meets this young girl and he kind of tells her that he can give her this superpower and she wants to decide if she wants to live forever or not. I remember when this musical came about, I had just started college, so I was getting into musical theatre even a bit more, and it was a massive deal. This was back in 2015. I think everyone in the industry knew about it at the time, but I just feel kind of that hype died down, and I think it's still a great musical. Whatever, if there's hype about it or not, I think it's a good musical that everyone should know. And I personally do not know of any UK productions of this show, so if you do and you've got any clips of it, let me know. But also, if you hear that it's coming to the UK soon, let me know, because I really want to watch this. Well, there we go. I do hope you've enjoyed today's video. I do hope you got some new musicals to listen to. But also remember that I will be adding a playlist down in my description box below. I will give you a look of it over here, going right now. Yeah, that is the playlist of my underrated musicals, which I've had from my previous video, but I will add some songs also onto it right now to have a bit more songs for you to get to know. Also remember that I am running a Facebook group called Theatre YouTubers and Bloggers, so if you watching this video are a theatre blogger or a theatre YouTuber, make sure that you join. I will leave the link down below as well, because we love to share our pieces and help each other out and support one another. Also, if you've got any more underrated musicals, let me know in the comments box below, because if I haven't listened to them, I will definitely listen to them right now. And also, people who are watching this video and want to find more musicals, you might be helping them. But thank you all for joining me today. Remember to follow me on all of my social media accounts. I will link everything down below once again. And yeah, get your daily dose of musical theatre. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and give it a like. But also subscribe to my channel for more theatre content. Thank you guys for joining me. And I will be back here on Friday with another video. See you then. Bye guys.